Welcome to the Little Bit of Life podcast, the podcast that goes beyond the polished posts and into the heart of real stories. I'm your host, Tabitha, better known as Little on social media. Think you've seen it all, heard it all? Not quite. Here, we're diving into those unfiltered, real, and sometimes unexpected conversations that we all think about but rarely say out loud. Along the way, I'll be joined by special guests who have left a mark on my journey, adding fresh perspectives and unforgettable insights. So kick back, relax, and let this be your moment. You've earned it. Let's dive into today's story, one word, one revelation at a time. Hey, everybody. Welcome in a Little Bit of Life podcast right here with your host, Little. We are right into the depths of 2025. And with that comes reading, and it comes this massive feeling inside of us that we want to help. We want change. We don't want to repeat the same behavior of 2024 going into 2025. You guys know you followed me on Goodreads. I've been reading, and I was reading Tim Tebow's book, Shaken, and there was a part that I wasn't even maybe 3 chapters in, and it really, really called to me about this company and about this amazing, amazing opportunity, and I had to find him. And did I do it? Yeah, I have on Hand and Feet Project with me. I have Will and his wife. Good to see you. How are you this morning?
Doing amazing. Good morning. Thank you so much.
What you're doing, I think, behind the scenes is why we're doing this episode. We are bringing something from behind the scenes in the shadows really to light. I was really called to reach out to you guys and really figure out what you're doing and why. So tell us a little bit about how Hand and Feet Project was created. I think it's something in the book, which I'll also tag as well, but this was really started just by a calling of there is a need for help and a need for change.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I was in a Christian rock band called Audio Adrenaline back in the day, and we had toured the country quite a bit, and then we just started asking some deeper questions like what else could we do with our platform that would have an incredible impact. And at the same time, our lead singer Mark's mom and dad were missionaries to Haiti, so we heard all these crazy stories about this Caribbean landscape, these people, just so colorful, so beautiful, warm weather culture. But we also heard of the great needs. And so that's when the band was like, it's got to be Haiti. It's got to be this place that you hear so much about, from different weather and natural events that go through there, and hardships to political and other things that they face, even to disease and things like that. So things that in a modern world, they wouldn't have to face. And so we really got on board and wanted to go down and see if we could tackle some of the issues. At that time, someone shared with us that there was an orphan and abandonment crisis going on in Haiti. And so one of our songs was called Hands and Feet Project, or I'm sorry, Hands and Feet. And so we named the project Hands and Feet Project after that song that we would play every night. And it gave us a great time, a great chance to talk about what we wanted to do in Haiti. And our fans loved it. They really rallied and came alongside us and loved that we would want to take on some social issue and in another part of the world, along with creating great music and encourage music and uplifting, our fans. They were like, wow, this is another level. This is another layer. And then we even would invite them on trips with us back in the day. We can't really do that right now, but so they would just jump in and go crazy with it. But so we got down there and we were creating these campuses where we could care for children who had been abandoned or they had been orphaned, and they were placed by Haiti's government to us. And one of the things that we just really didn't like was the term orphanage or orphan. When we feel like we're made in a creator, in the image of a creator, imago Dei, like we're each unique and we're so special, we're one of a kind, and we have so much value. There's no way we're going to put that label on any child that has just had a rough go at life. And so we built small family units. And so that's a really big difference from us to like a more universal type care for kids who are orphaned. And so we built little families and we put sibling groups together with a matriarch nanny. And we really wanted to provide them what they had been robbed of. And that was like a biological family. So
I get chills when you talk about that, because in the United States, we take everything for granted. And I mean everything. My water heater just went out yesterday. And when I say that I took for granted hot water, being able when I'm ready to take a shower and just relax, we take everything for granted. And I really want listeners to really pull and be tied into this episode, because if you're listening and you're driving to work, you have a vehicle, you have gas. If you woke up this morning and you made breakfast for your children, you have love, a roof over your head, electricity, you have food, you have all of those things that we so often take for granted. And it's amazing to me because we don't really hear about Haiti. It didn't really hit the map until a lot of natural disasters. And I feel like it's something that was really forgotten about with the most amazing people. It's truly about community and love, even when they have nothing. And the family unit you also really focus on too, because if you're listening to this episode and you're like, I'm dropping my child off at daycare, a lot of these families don't have that kind of secret sauce to a forever future because they don't have anyone to watch their children, but they have to go to work. So kind of guide us through helping us, because it's not just about those children in need, but you're also really taking up family units and family structure, which I think is important.
I love that.
Yeah, I think when you go back into the early 2000s when we started, we were focused on orphan and abandoned children. Currently, that by statistics is only 18% of what we do as a whole in Haiti, as far as how we care for children and their families and their communities. And in those early years, really going into a deep dive and understanding why people were abandoning their children. Poverty should not be a reason that people need to give up their children. It's tied to hope, really. When a mom, when a mom that's living in these deep cycles of poverty, lack of opportunities, it isn't really just poverty. It's poverty plus, and it's lack of other things. It's infrastructure support, family support, government services and systems. Even just I have multiple kids and I don't have the family support to watch new children. So I still have to go work and hustle and try and provide for them. So kind of going upstream a little bit and trying to figure out the why really has influenced the growth of Hands and Feet Project and what programs we've added on, really all in an effort. We don't celebrate when a kid comes into our care. We mourn. It's a responsibility and we're honored to do it. We want to be the best last resort for a child that's in need. But really, we want to do anything we can to prevent those children from experiencing that trauma and brokenness in their life. And so some of those programs that we've started have stemmed from how can we keep this from happening? And one of them is what you had mentioned is our daycare services. We have what we call Little Hands Daycare Services, which has been amazing opportunity for families, single moms, young moms, even, fathers that are trying to care for their children to come and bring their kids to us for the day. And so they're protected, they're cared for, they have early child development, they get fed, so they have nutrition. And the really beautiful thing is they go home to family at the end of the day. So we really love coming alongside those families. They're taught well. Educated people, Montessori infused with the gospel, worship and prayer over those families. And couple of those daycares are actually in our children's villages. And so our children that have experienced abandonment and brokenness get to see really what a Haitian family really should look like when they're in the real fight for each other. And I love that. That was kind of the unexpected blessing of starting those. So we have 6 daycares that are operating right now, each serving about 24 families, anywhere from 0 to 3 years old. And at 3 years old, they actually enter the Haitian public school system or private school system. So pretty young compared to the United States.
Creates 11 jobs too. And that's that's a huge priority for us, is try to allow people to be their own solution to their own problems by having an amazing job. And so all of our campuses where we care for kids, and then all of the children who are cared for in these daycares, it's job creations. That's probably 190 plus, job equivalents that are supported through that. So it's super cool to kind of shift your thinking and be able to see how each little piece plays a part in the greater wholes.
It's all a puzzle, which I want people to really understand. I think we sit here in the United States and just think our problems are just beyond measure, and so many people say, oh, well, we'll pray for others. Okay, but what are you doing for others? If you have a capacity like this platform to use, if you have a voice and you have a passion, you can connect with the community, because the community in Haiti is showing, and you're showing with your project, that you're breaking the stigma, you're breaking the cycle, but you're doing it in pieces that connect into a bigger picture, into a big puzzle. It's not just, considering an orphanage. When we look at so many different other countries and, and places in need, we think this is such a giant picture. How could somebody sitting right here listening to this podcast, how could we help? Well, one little person can make a really big noise. And then when they connect with somebody else and connect, it's something that we're truly inspired, especially on this podcast, in community. Bring us kind of down memory lane of, going into Haiti. Let's say somebody's listening and they're like, I really want to help. What does life in Haiti look like? Because I think what we see through, the media versus what's truly the emotion and the draw of this community. What is Haiti like?
Near you.
I mean, I think it starts with its people. I mean, from the time you land, at the international airport and you get off that plane and you see the sights, the sounds, the smells. The smells will stay with you forever. It's warm weather climate. It's hot and yeah, they're not a culture that stores up their day to day, their market, their go to the spring, their go wash their clothes in the river, and they're doing life and they might get 1 or 2 days worth of stuff and then they're going back. It's just a weekly, daily, every couple day thing. And they're doing that as a family. And so when they walk a couple hours to market from the mountains to try to sell their goods that they produced in the mountains because they're farmers and they're ag, and then they're gonna sell that and buy stuff that they need to go back and take care of the family and take care of the house. They heard about Jesus on that 2-hour walk. They heard stories from grandma and grandpa. They caught up with their brothers and their sisters. You know what I mean? There's so many cultural things. I think Mother Teresa says it's not about what we do for the poor, but what the poor do for us. It's because when we have a cultural exchange, when we spend time with people, when we dig in and do life with people, we understand that we really don't have it all figured out. We may think our amazing country, it is absolutely amazing and we love it, but we busy ourselves and we work ourselves right out of all the gifts of presence or the gifts of connecting, the gifts of community, and, the gift of even sitting down for a meal as a family. So many things. Someone once said that, we're bringing Jesus to Haiti, and we're like, no, Jesus has been in Haiti forever. He's captivated these people and they have a passionate and a vibrant faith. So for me, it's all about the people. It's bonjour, bonsoir, good morning, good afternoon. How are you? How's your family? They just want to know, how you're doing, and they want to look you in the eye. You can't walk past a Haitian and have your head down. You can't not see them, not recognize them, not notice them. And so for me, that's some really beautiful things. Obviously, they have a lot of infrastructure issues. They don't have consistent power. They don't have, clean water all the time and all of those things. But we try to, that's where we try to jump in and create those things and help. And, but I'll let you answer too. What's your favorite thing?
I mean, it's more, as I'm hearing you speak, it's just a land of contrast.
That's true.
Because you talk about this lack of infrastructure and debris and trash, but then it's against these beautiful mountains, and
absolutely
beautiful pristine beaches and oceans and
raw
nature. You talk about the beauty and strength of family, but then we serve in a world of broken families and struggling families. And so it's just this beauty of living for the daily manna, but they also don't have a lot. It's we store up and they don't store up.
Accumulate.
They have this faith. And so they also are just very relational. And so that's one of the things when we live there that we miss now. They're not tied to the clock. We make a lot of jokes here because we're here in the United States and they're in Haiti, and we talk about, hey, is this meeting in U.S. time or Haiti time? Because Haiti time lives in flex, right? Which is the beauty of it, because they're not tied to the clock. They're tied to the people and the relationships and the natural rhythms of life. But here we're okay, we've got to do this here and this there and that. And then all of the, you mentioned the ministry of presence, which is a Henry Nouwen quote, but we're just tied to the clock and filling up our time, and they're filling their time molds to their rhythm of life. And I think that's really beautiful. So I'm always just man, it's beautiful, but broken in the same time. So
yeah, they are interruptible. And that's a really cool thing. They, no matter what they're doing, they can be interrupted and they can have a moment for you. And when we lived there, we got into those rhythms we haven't been able to replicate since we lived there. So that's a tough one.
I think here we're determined to stay distracted, because if we're not distracted by something on a schedule or a time frame or our expectations or everything combined, it's almost like we have an open space for way too much thought process. And I think as Americans, what are we doing with that thought process? Are you making a change? And it doesn't have to be something where, you're changing an entire country. That's nearly impossible, right? But it's something where as a community, I think it's amazing to hear what Haiti really looks like, because when we think of Haiti, we think of hungry. I think of hungry, but hearing you describe it, if they're hungry for hope, that's it. They want for everything, they need for nothing, and they're still amazing people to their core with generations of education and learning. I think that's really missing here in the United States. Like I said, we're always focused on a distraction. And even now listening to this episode, so many people are like, oh, how long is this episode? I have to finish, or I have to do this. What do you have to do? Because I always say, if God chooses you're not here tomorrow, what did you do with your time today? And what were you able to make a difference, maybe just a little bit, even for yourself? Like, put hope into your life, be hungry for your life, but also be hungry for other people. Which brings me to the question on your website, and trust me, guys, I'm putting everything in the bio description because I know you guys are going to be hungry after this episode, which I want you to be. You have a section on your website. It's called Haiti Made. And I want to know exactly what this is, because I was on there last night and I am just amazed, and it just gave me like chills. I'm like, this is truly incredible.
Well, thank you for asking. I got the hat on.
I know he's representing.
I was supporting.
I think the big picture is that we're firm believers that the future of Haiti, the healing of Haiti, the restoration of Haiti is driven with job creation, obviously peace. I mean, that's right.
They have to have peace and stability.
And stability in the country. And then really after that, it's just economic opportunities, job creation, and stability. Those are also things that we take for granted here. And so really Haiti Made many years ago was, we were in the orphan and abandonment child space, and our kids grew up in 20 years. Imagine that. We really were starting to get concerned about where they were going to go and what they were going to do with their talents and their gifts, and how we were going to transition their life from this kind of internal dependency on maybe the organization and our team into kind of independent life. So just like we all do when we're aging out of our homes. And so Haiti Made began all of those years ago just to say, what sources do we have in Haiti? What skill set do we have as a team? And what can we create to help create jobs? And so that's how it started along all those years ago. And then it's grown into more products, more investment of time in other people's gifts, and grown into creating jobs for moms who are fighting for their family, still kids who've grown up out of our care, but also just young men and women who are just trying to make themselves better, like you mentioned, and care for their siblings, and just, I don't know, just creating a little hope, I guess, in that community to see how we could kind of create this small leather business and just create jobs, create hope, create opportunity, and just really raise up that community in Grand Guave. But you can share.
Give them an alternate marketplace back here in the States. So we were making stuff there and then bringing it back to the U.S. on HaitiMade.com and selling it. But their handicraft in Haiti is just,
they're talented.
It's just so talented. They're so talented, and they could do so much. They work in paper mache. They work in metal. They recycle 55-gallon drums and make incredible metal art. And so we kind of just took innately what they do and how they are so handy, and we just would give them ideas, and we're like, hey, try it on leather, or here's a picture, or what do you think of this, or what could you do with this idea? And they just all became incredibly awesome, talented people who were making these leather bags and these leather products. And Haiti Made just seemed like the name. It captured the country, captured the heartbeat of just kind of, they're always hustling. There's a storefront on every house, on every street. They're making something, or they're creating a way for them to create a business for them to survive. And again, as Andrea said, we believe the future of Haiti is through commerce and sustainable and awesome trade, fair trade, all those things, And so Haiti Made is just a little light of that. There's so many others who have started in Haiti, especially after the big earthquake in 2010. So many people went down with this idea to try to create leather goods or to create, just products that were made in Haiti and sold elsewhere. And so we want to hold them up and hold the arms up of people who went before us and who are still doing it along with us. So yeah, it's a, cool thing when they can be their own solution, as I said, to their own problems. It's not a handout. It's not, benevolence, which we find ourselves in Haiti because there's such a great need and so many displaced people and so much hunger. But this is a light because they're able to do this on their own. They create this product, they go and make a fair living wage and go home and feed their own families. That's beautiful.
Yeah, but I think the interesting piece for you and your audience is really just what in the United States, we have a great power with what we do with our money.
That's right.
And so there is power and intention that you can use with what you buy. And so I think, you spending with purpose, using your spending power to support struggling people around the world versus maybe where you might spend your money elsewhere. I mean, I think when it's really shifted, my marketplace, it's like, I want to buy jewelry that is made by, women who are coming out of abuse, or, it's really, we have great power with our money and our purchasing and what we want to do with that. Yeah. And I would just encourage everybody, maybe doesn't have to be Haiti made, but there are a lot of beautiful craftsmen around the world.
Yep.
And a lot of NGOs and organizations are representing them and trying to do the same thing we're doing with Haiti made. Yep. So yeah, if you need jewelry or gifts or candles, there's also
fabric or shirts or all of it it's produced in Haiti and other places. And if you just do a little bit of homework and understand that those industries really are not doing it the way exactly they say they're doing it, and using materials that are proper and using other, doing the ethical kind of trade. So there's a lot of that we would hope that you would explore as well.
Yeah, but all of that is all hand done.
Yeah,
hand machines, hand cut, all of that property. And
that's right.
They're beautiful people. So we're happy to represent them and the skills of our colleagues down in Haiti.
Shifting our what we feel is beautiful, what we feel is unique, I think, in the United States. And I love that. And I encourage that because we live in this social media world where if we see somebody that's a social media influencer have a product, it's flying off the shelves, which really upsets me because it's like, why can't we have like this handmade products that are unique, that are giving back, that have a purpose behind it?
Yeah.
Versus just, I have an affiliate code, I'm getting a percentage off, which so many people ask like, hey, what's your favorite product? Hey, what do you like to go to? I really want to shift this mindset of, just because somebody you think is famous has it, well, how about we make a company? How about we make a country famous for what they're using with their hands and their talent versus just a product that looks good? That, let's be real, ladies. I mean, how many purses do we have? Way too many that are sitting on our shelf. And it's a great conversation piece. Yes, it's a great conversation piece because if it's something unique and you can tell that it came from someone that made it with heart and with purpose, and it landed in your lap with that. So it's like a conversation starter. So I know people are listening. They're like, okay, she got me. I want to help, but I'm just one person, here in the United States. How do we give back? How can we assist? And what does that small portion do in really large numbers?
I mean, yeah, everyone can make a difference from the littlest piece. It's like you said, I mean, intentionality, knowing that if you just show up at Haiti Made, or if you show up at Hands and Feet Project and help sponsor a child, or if you even just put Haiti on your heart and on your mind and think about it daily. And hey, I wonder what Haiti's going through today, and just kind of give a nice thought about it and be like, man, help them today, or I hope they're having a better day than they had yesterday, or you know what I mean? Just putting positivity in a lot of your mindset, for another country, another people group. They are in the news a lot, and it's a lot of negativity right now. And we have always tried to be the voice of the beauty of Haiti, of sharing another story, of sharing about the people and a different. So, but I mean, yeah, we're supporting families. We have kids on our campus that we care for. We come alongside families outside of our campus, and we have these daycares. And there's lots of ways to get involved at the Hands and Feet Project website. And then Haiti Made, of course, you can buy incredible products that were poured into and a lot of heart and soul and a lot of handicraft that went into, and they're incredible. They're lifer bags, lifer wallets, lifer journals, all that stuff. So all of that's very cool.
And there's a lot of power in your yes. And our yes might look different than your yes. Obviously, you're doing great things, but just to really just say yes and say, what is my yes in the area of my talent, my treasure, my time, and my testimony. It's in your prayer life and your giving and your sharing. And there is so many opportunities. And I think when you slow down and you turn off the busyness, like you said, and some of those spaces that you create, I think God's going to show you what that should be like for you, because everybody's passions and experiences are different, and they come to fruition in those quiet times and in those spaces that you give. And then I think that's going to just look different for everybody. So I would go all the way back to maybe your original conversation and say, encourage people to sit in some quiet spaces, do some reflecting. There's a book called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. It's like, what can we do in the spaces that we create, even if we have to create them and cut things out of our life? And in that spaces, God's going to show you what to fill them back up with. And it could be life-changing for you, your family, your community, and the world around you. So in those spaces and our lack, we chose Haiti and we chose orphan care, and we're into fighting for families, and it's a really hard space. But there are people struggling all over the world that need you.
That's right.
You, and they need me, and they need everyone that's listening. So I would just encourage people just to kind of, use their yes intentionally, and just sit in the silence and breathe and go, man, what is that for me?
Yep.
And then just turn it into action, like you said, because, without action, I don't know. I have my own strong opinions about that. But yeah, you have to know what that is, and then you have to do something about it. And it goes in.
Yep. And I'm doing this episode, and I know so many people are going to be like, okay, she always has a purpose behind it. And it's something because in 2025, it's the new year. And I always cannot stand that, it's a new year, new me. It doesn't have to. If you failed and fell off the wagon because you're listening to this in February, that's okay. So many people are finding their faith again this year, whether we've been through some really hard times in the last couple of years, or we just feel like there's just more. There's just more we could do. There's a deeper path that we could travel. And I always ask for those that are listening, are you basically distracting yourself right now, or are you being destructive? There's a huge difference. And a lot of people don't like that quiet space, right? Because your mind gets really busy. That's where faith comes in. So definitely, I will put all the links in the bio description. I want you guys to really find a purpose. God's calling you. You always have a purpose. I know there's going to be just a handful of people that listen to this and say, yeah, I really needed this. Whether you're in a rough time, or maybe you're very grateful and you're like, you know what, I really feel that now is my time to give back. I have this, severe calling, and I needed this episode to hit my platform this morning on my way to work. So from the book, especially with the Hand and Feet Project where I found you guys, I want to read this because it's really kind of just moved me ever since. For me to highlight a book is something else, okay? Because y'all know I don't distract anything. It makes me so nervous. But it said, God was authoring a bigger picture. He always gets you to where he wants you to be in spite of yourself. So if you're listening to this episode, you're like, you know what? Instead of going to Starbucks every single week and spending $50, imagine what $50 could do for a family, a child, a community that you're going to change the world. Could we change it one person at a time? Yes, but we got to have your help. So thanks for stopping by, sharing everything about Hand and Feet Project. I adore you guys. And y'all better check my social media because I'm going shopping on Haiti Made. Just telling you.
We love it.
Thank you, Tabitha.
Yeah, thank you for having us. You're amazing.
That's a wrap on today's episode. I hope you enjoyed our time together, and I want to thank you for sharing it with me and the guest. A huge thank you as well to our guests as well as possible sponsors, because we're stronger together, louder as one, and truly connected like a family. If you loved today's episode, please leave a review. Help bring others along for the journey with us. And don't forget to tune in on your favorite streaming platform every week. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Little Bit of Life Podcast, so you can be part of the action and, yes, part of the interview with our video content. Thank you again for joining me, and I would love to have you come on as a guest. If you're interested, send me a message. Until next time, remember, be good to others, be good to you. See you next time.